Square in 1765, East India Company acquired the Diwani over Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. Blacksmall Square initially, attempt was made to continue the old system of revenue collection. Blacksmall Square in 1773, it decided to manage the land revenues directly. Warren Hastings auctioned the right to collect revenue to the highest bidders. But his experiment did not succeed. Though the amount of land revenue was pushed high by zamindars in the process of bidding against each other. Blacksmall Square this introduced instability in the company's revenue. Blacksmall Square at this stage, the idea first emerged of fixing the land revenues at a permanent amount. Blacksmall Square finally, Lord Cornwallis introduced the permanent settlement in Bengal and Bihar in 1793. This system had two special features. Blacksmall Square first, the zamindars and revenue collectors were converted into so many landlords. Their right of ownership was made hereditary and transferable. Zamindars were given rights to collect the rent from the peasants. Blacksmall Square on the other hand, cultivators were reduced to the low status of mere tenants. Blacksmall Square second, the zamindars were to give 10/11ths of the rental they derived from the peasantry to the state, keeping only 1/11 for themselves. Blacksmall Square if the rental of the zamindar's estate increased owing to extension of cultivation and improvement in agriculture, or his capacity to extract more from his tenants, or any other reason, he would keep the entire amount of the increase. Blacksmall Square the state would not make any further demand upon him. At the same time, the zamindars had to pay his revenue rigidly on the due date even if the crop had failed for some reason, otherwise his lands were to be sold. Blacksmall Square the permanent zamindari settlement was later extended to Orissa, the northern district of Madras, and the district of Varanasi. The MAHALWARI system. Blacksmall Square modified version of the zamindari settlement, introduced in the Ganga Valley, the northwest provinces, parts of central India, and the Punjab, was known as the Mahalwari system. Blacksmall Square Mahalwari system was introduced in 1833 during the period of William Bentinck. Blacksmall Square it was introduced in central province, northwest frontier, Agra, Punjab, Gangetic Valley etc. of British India. Blacksmall Square under the system, the basic unit of revenue settlement system was the village or mahal. Blacksmall Squares the village belonged jointly to the village community, the responsibility of paying the revenue rested with the entire mahal or the village community. Blacksmall Square modified Mahalwari system called Gram Vyavastha or village settlement was also introduced in the Punjab. Blacksmall Square all over the country, land was now made saleable, mortgageable and alienable. This was done primarily to protect the government's revenue. Blacksmall Square if land had not been made transferable or saleable, the government would find it very difficult to realize revenue from a cultivator who had no savings or possessions out of which to pay it. Now he could borrow money on the security of this land or even sell part of it and pay his land revenue. Question 1. Q. The tendency for increased litigation was visible after the introduction of the land settlement system of Lord Cornwallis in 1793. The reason for this is normally traced to which of the following provisions. 2011. Making Zamindar's position stronger with the right. B. Making East India Company an overlord of Zamindars. C. Making judicial system more efficient. D. None of the A, B, and C above answer D. Question 2. Q. Under the permanent settlement, 1893, the zamindars are required to issue patas to the farmers which were not issued by many of the zamindars. The reason was 2001. The zamindars were trusted by the farmers. B. There was no official check upon the zamindars. C. It was the responsibility of the British government. D. The farmers were not interested in getting patas. Answer D. Question 3. Q. With reference to right-wari settlement, consider the following statements. 2012. 1. The rent was paid directly by the peasants to the government. 2. The government gave patas to the riots. 3. The lands were surveyed and assessed before being taxed. Which of the statements given above are correct? 1 only. B. 1 and 2 only. C. 1, 2 and 3. D. None. Answer C. Question 4. Q. Who among the following was but associated with the introduction of right-wari settlement in India during the British rule? 2017. 1. Lord Cornwallis. 2. Alexander Reed. 3. Thomas Munro. Select the correct answer using the code given below. 1 only. 1 and 3 only. 2 and 3 only. 1, 2 and 3. Answer C. Tribal revolts background. Blacksmall Square tribal rebellions were sparked off by a number of factors. Blacksmall Square the land settlements of the British affected the joint ownership tradition among the tribals and disrupted their social fabric. Blacksmall Square's agriculture was extended in a settled from by the company government. The tribals lost their land, and there was an influx of non-tribals to these areas. Blacksmall Square shifting cultivation in forests was curbed and thus added to the tribals' problems. Blacksmall Square exploitation by the police, traders and money lenders aggravated the tribal sufferings. Blacksmall Square some general laws were also abhorred for their intrusive nature as the tribals had their own customs and traditions. Santhal Rebellion. Blacksmall Square it was a native rebellion in present-day Jharkhand in eastern India against both the British colony authority and zamindari system by the Santhal people. Blacksmall Square it started on June 30, 1855. Blacksmall Square the rebellion was led by the four Murmu brothers Kanhu, Chandan Bhairav. Reason. Blacksmall Square before the British advent in India, Santhals resided in the hilly districts of Manbhum, Barabhum, Chotanagpur, Pulimau and Birbhum. Blacksmall Square they lived an agrarian lifestyle, by clearing forest patches, cultivation and hunting for subsistence. Blacksmall Square but as the agents of the new colonial rule claimed their rights on the lands, the Santhals retreated to the hills of Rajmahal. Blacksmall Square after a brief period, the British operatives with their native underlings i.e. the local landlords lay claim on this new land as well. Zamindars and the moneylenders allured them by goods lent to them on loans. Through corrupt practices of the moneylenders, the loan grew to prohibitive proportions, for repaying which entire family had to work as bonded labourers. Blacksmall Square this dispossession turned the Santhals into rebels and finally they took an oath to launch an attack on the ruling authority, i.e. the British. Blacksmall Square the revolt was brutally crushed, the two celebrated leaders were killed. Elephants were used to crush Santhal huts and likewise atrocities were committed by the British army and its allies in suppressing the rebellion. Blacksmall Square after the rebellion was suppressed, the area inhabited by the Santhals was put under the direct control of Governor General and was named as Santhal Pargana under the pretext of providing special concessions to the Santhals. The area was also declared as an excluded area. Fig. Some of the revolts along with reason. Question 5. Q. Which amongst the following provided a common factor for tribal insurrection in India in the 19th century? 2011. Introduction of a new system of land revenue and taxation of tribal products. B. Influence of foreign religious missionaries in tribal areas. C. Rise of a large number of moneylenders, traders and revenue farmers as middlemen in tribal areas. D. The complete disruption of the old agrarian order of the tribal communities. Answer D. Question 6. Q. After the Santhal uprising subsided, which was the measures taken by the colonial government. 2018. 1. The territories called Santhal Pargana were created to. It became illegal for Santhal to transfer land to a non-Santhal. Select the correct answer using the code given below. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. Answer C. Question 7. Q. Which one of the following revolts was made famous by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee in his novel Anandmath? 2006. A. Gale Uprising. B. Rangpur and Dinapur Uprising. C. Bishnupur and Birbhum Rebellion. D. Sannyasi Rebellion. Answer D. Question 8. Q. With which one of the following mountain tribes did the British first come into contact with after the grant of Diwani in the year 1765? 2002. A. Garos. B. Khasis. C. Cookies. D. Tipuras. Answer B. The peasant movement. The impoverishment of the Indian peasantry was a direct result of the transformation of the agrarian structure due to Black Small Square colonial economic policies. Black Small Square ruin of the handicrafts leading to overcrowding of land. Black Small Square the new land revenue system. Black Small Square colonial administrative and judicial system. Black Small Square the peasants suffered from high rents, illegal levies, arbitrary evictions and unpaid labor in Zamindari areas. In Rayatwari areas, the government itself levied heavy land revenue. Indigo revolt reason. Black Small Square in Bengal, the indigo planters, nearly all Europeans, exploited the local peasants by forcing them to grow indigo on their lands instead of the more paying crops like rice. Black Small Square the planters forced the peasants to take advance sums and enter into fraudulent contracts which were then used against the peasants. Movement. Black Small Square the anger of the peasants exploded in 1859 when, led by Digambar Bishwas and Bishnu Bishwas of Nadi district, they decided not to grow indigo under duress and resisted the physical pressure of the planters. They also organized a counterforce against the planters' attacks. Black Small Square gradually, they learned to use the legal machinery and initiated legal action supported by fund collection. Impact. Black Small Square the government appointed an indigo commission to inquire into the problem of indigo cultivation. Based on its recommendations, the government issued a notification in November 1860 that the riots could not be compelled to grow indigo and that it would ensure that all disputes were settled by legal means. Participation. Black Small Square the Bengali intelligentsia played a significant role by supporting the peasants' cause through newspaper campaigns, organization of mass meetings, preparing memoranda on peasants' grievances and supporting them in legal battles. Pabna revolt reason. Black Small Square during the 1870s and 1880s, large parts of eastern Bengal witnessed agrarian unrest caused by oppressive practices of the zamindars. The zamindars resorted to enhance rents beyond legal limits and prevented the tenants from acquiring occupancy rights under Act 10 of 1859. Movement. Black Small Square having had enough of the oppressive regime, the peasants of Yusuf Shahi Pargana in Patna district formed an agrarian league or combination to resist the demands of the zamindars. The league organized a rent strike. The riots refused to pay the enhanced rents, challenging the zamindars in the courts. Black Small Square funds were raised by riots to fight the court cases. The struggle spread throughout Patna and to other districts of East Bengal. The main form of struggle was that of legal resistance. There was very little violence. Participation. Black Small Square a number of young Indian intellectuals supported the peasants' cause. These included Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, R.C. Dutt and the Indian Association under Surendranath Banerjee. Solution. Black Small Square the government also promised to undertake legislation to protect the tenants from the worst aspects of Zamindari oppression. In 1885, the Bengal Tenancy Act was passed. Deccan Riots reason. Black Small Square the riots of Deccan region of western India suffered heavy taxation under the Rayatwari system. Here again the peasants found themselves trapped in a vicious network with the moneylenders the exploiter and the main beneficiary. Black Small Square the conditions had worsened due to a crash in cotton prices after the end of the American Civil War in 1864, the government's decision to raise the land revenue by 50% in 1867, and a succession of bad harvests. Black Small Square in 1874, the growing tension between the moneylenders and the peasants resulted in a social boycott movement organized by the riots against the outsider moneylenders. Impact. Black Small Square the government succeeded in repressing the movement. Black Small Square is a conciliatory measure. The Deccan Agriculturist Relief Act was passed in 1879. Participation. Black Small Square this time also, the modern nationalist intelligentsia of Maharashtra supported the peasants' cause. Later phase movements. Black Small Square Eka movement or unity movement is a peasant movement which surfaced in Hardoi, Baraich and Sitapur during the end of 1921 by Murari Pasi, an offshoot of non-cooperation movement. Black Small Square the initial thrust was given by the leaders of Congress and Khilaf movement. Black Small Square the main reason for the movement was high rent, which was generally higher than 50% of recorded rent in some areas. Black Small Square oppression by Tikadar who were entrusted to collect rent and practice of share rent also contributed to this movement. Black Small Square small zamindars who were disenchanted with British government due to heavy land revenue demand were also a part of this movement. Black Small Square soon the leadership of movement changed from Congress to Murari Pasi, a low-caste leader who was not inclined to accept non-violence. Black Small Square this led the movement losing contact with nationalist class. Black Small Square by March 1922, due to severe repression of British the Eka movement came to an end. Black Small Square there were also various other movements in this time. Kisan Sabha movement. Mapila revolt. Bardoli Satyagraha. All India Congress Sabha. Post-war phase movement Tevaga movement. Black Small Square the Tevaga movement was significant peasant agitation, initiated in Bengal by the Kisan Sabha, Peasant Front of the Communist Party of India in 1946-47. Background. Black Small Square at that time sharecroppers had contracted to give half of their harvest to the landlords. The demand of the Tevaga, sharing by thirds movement was to reduce the landlord share to one-third. Black Small Square in many areas the agitations turned violent, and landlords fled, leaving parts of the countryside in the hands of Kisan Sabha. In 1946, sharecroppers began to assert that they would pay only one-third and that before division the crop would stay in their godowns and not that of the jotedars. The sharecroppers were encouraged by the fact that the Bengal Land Revenue Commission had already made this recommendation in its report to the government. The movement resulted in clashes between jotedars and burgadars sharecroppers. Black Small Square's response to the agitation, the Muslim League Ministry in the province launched the Burgadari Act, which provided that the share of the harvest given to the landlords would be limited to one-third of the total. However, the law was not fully implemented. The Bengal Land Revenue Commission, popularly known as Floud Commission, had made recommendation in favor of the sharecroppers. Impact of peasant movements. Black Small Square these movements created an atmosphere for post-independence agrarian reforms, for instance, abolition of zamindari. They eroded the power of the landed class, thus adding to the transformation of the agrarian structure. Question 9. Q. Consider the following events. 1999. 1. Indigo Revolt. 2. Santhal Rebellion. 3. Deccan Riot. 4. Mutiny of the Sepoys. The correct chronological sequence of these events is 4, 2, 1, 3, B, 4, 2, 3, 1, C, 2, 4, 3, 1, D, 2, 4, 1, 3. Answer. Question 10. Q. The demand for the Tevaga peasant movement in Bengal was for 2013. The reduction of the share of the landlords from one half of the crop to one-third. B. The grant of ownership of land to peasants as they were the actual cultivators of the land. C. The uprooting of zamindari system and the end of serfdom. D. Writing off all present debts. Answer A. Question 11. Q. Match list I with list 2 and select the correct answer using the codes given below the lists. 1997 LIST 1 list 2. A. Mopla Revolt 1. Kerala. B. Pabna Revolt 2. Bihar. C. Ekka Movement 3. Bengal. D. Birsa Munda Revolt 4. Awadh. Codes. A. A1. B3. C4. D2. B. A2. B3. C4. D1. C. A1. B2. C3. D4. D. A3. B4. C1. D2. Answer A. Question 12. Q. With reference to Indian history, which of the following are the essential elements of the feudal system? 2015. 1. A very strong centralized political authority and a very weak provincial or local political authority. 2. Emergence of administrative structure based on control and possession of land. 3. Creation of lord-vassal relationship between the feudal lord and his overlord. Select the correct answer using the code given below. A. 1 and 2 only. B. 2 and 3 only. C. 3 only. D. 1, 2 and 3 answer B. Important personalities part 1. Question 1. Q. Consider the following statements. 2012. The most effective contribution made by Dadabhai Naoroji to the cause of Indian national movement was the T. 1. Exposed the economic exploitation of India by the British. 2. Interpreted the ancient Indian texts and restored the self-confidence of Indians. 3. Stressed the need for eradication of all the social evils before anything else. Which of the statements given above are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 and 3 only. C. 1 and 3 only. D. 1, 2 and 3 answer A. Explanation. Blacksmall Square Dadabhai Naoroji, known as the Grand Old Man of India, was a Parsi intellectual, educator, cotton trader, and an early Indian political and social leader. Blacksmall Square he was a Liberal Party Member of Parliament, MP, in the United Kingdom House of Commons between 1892 and 1895, and first Indian to be a British MP. Blacksmall Square his book Poverty and Un-British Rule in India brought attention to the draining of India's wealth into Britain. Blacksmall Square being an Athonian, ordained priest, Naoroji founded the Ranamai Mazdas Sabhawan in 1851 to restore the Zoroastrian religion to its original purity and simplicity. Blacksmall Square in 1854, he also founded a Gujarati fortnightly publication, the Rasgofter, to clarify Zoroastrian concepts and promote Parsi social reforms. Blacksmall Square in 1855, he was appointed Professor of Mathematics and Natural Philosophy at the Elphinstone College in Bombay, becoming the first Indian to hold such an academic position. Blacksmall Square in 1867, Naoroji also helped to establish the East India Association, one of the predecessor organizations of the Indian National Congress with the aim of putting across the Indian point of view before the British public. Blacksmall Square he was also a member of the Indian National Association founded by Sir Surendranath Banerjee from Calcutta a few years before the founding of the Indian National Congress in Bombay, with the same objectives and practices. Blacksmall Square Naoroji's work on the drain theory was the main reason behind the creation of the Royal Commission on Indian Expenditure in 1896 in which he was also a member. This commission reviewed financial burdens on India and in some cases came to the conclusion that those burdens were misplaced. Economic critique of colonialism. Blacksmall Square Indian intellectuals in the early 19th century had positive attitude toward the British rule hoping it would modernize India. Blacksmall Square later they were disillusioned by the ruler's progress and new areas were slow but overall the country was regressing and underdeveloping. This change of image led to a deeper probe into the reality of British rule and his impact on people. Blacksmall Square amongst the economists who studied, Dadabhai Naoroji was the most prominent. Blacksmall Square he popularized the drain theory in his book Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. Blacksmall Square Justice M. G. Ranare was his contemporary and taught an entire generation of Indians the importance of industrial development. Blacksmall Square R.C. Dutt examined minutely the entire economic impact of colonial rule from 1757. G.V. Joshi, G. Subramaniam Iyer, G.K. Gokhale, P.C. Ray with the others. Blacksmall Square drain theory was also focal point of the economic critique. It said that large part of Indian capital would go into salaries and pensions of British officers, charges for maintaining an army and home. Charges needed to maintain administration, army, war expense, pensions to returned officers and expense in maintaining the colony. Blacksmall Square the drain theory was easily understood even by common peasants and thus became the staple of nationalist political agitations during the Gandhian era. Question 2. Q. Who of the following was bioeconomic critics of colonialism in India? 2015. 1. Dadabhai Naoroji. 2. G. Subramania Iyer. 3. R.C. Dutt. Select the correct answer using the code given below. A. 1 only. B. 1 and 2 only. C. 2 and 3 only. D. 1, 2 and 3 answer D. Question 3. Q. Who among the following wrote the book Bahubivar? 2007. A. Raja Ram Mohan Roy. B. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. C. Pandit Rambai. D. Rabindranath Tagore answer B. Explanation. Blacksmall Square Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was a Bengali polymath from the Indian subcontinent and a key figure of the Bengal Renaissance. Blacksmall Square he was a philosopher, academic educator, writer, translator, printer, publisher, entrepreneur, reformer and philanthropist. His efforts to simplify and modernize Bengali prose were significant. Blacksmall Square he also rationalized and simplified the Bengali alphabet and type. Blacksmall Square he also forced the British to pass the Widow Remarriage Act. Blacksmall Square he received the title Vidyasagar from Sanskrit College, Calcutta, due to his excellent performance in Sanskrit studies and philosophy. Blacksmall Square noted Bengali mathematician Anil Kumar Gain founded Vidyasagar University, named in his honor. Blacksmall Square Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was a great writer. Some of his works are Blacksmall Square his Banaparichoy was the first book of the Bengali alphabet to introduce children to the alphabetical letters of the Bangla language. Blacksmall Square some of his social reform monologues are Bidhobabivar, widow remarriage, on widows' rights to remarry, Bahubivar, on banning of polygamy, Balyavivar, on the flaws of child marriage. He also started a weekly newspaper called Shom Prakash in 1858. Question 4. Q. Who among the following started the newspaper Shom Prakash? 2007. A. Dayanand Saraswati. B. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. C. Raja Ram Mohan Roy. D. Surendranath Banerjee answer B. Question 5. Q. The paintings of Rabindranath Tagore are classified as 1999. A. Realistic. B. Socialistic. C. Revivalistic. D. Impressionistic answer C. Explanation. Blacksmall Square Rabindranath Tagore, the nephew of Rabindranath Tagore, was one of the most prominent artists of India. Blacksmall Square he was the first major supporter of Swadeshi values in Indian art. Blacksmall Square Rabindranath first created the Indian Society of Oriental Art and later went on to establish Bengal School of Art. His sole aim for establishing the school was to counter the English influence on Indian artists. Blacksmall Square he did by incorporating Indian elements in his works and achieved success when British art institutions gave him an accepted to teach and propagate his style of works in their organizations. Blacksmall Square his idea of modernizing Mughal and Rajput paintings eventually gave rise to modern Indian painting, which took birth at his Bengal School of Art. Blacksmall Square Rabindranath Tagore is also regarded as a proficient and accomplished writer. Blacksmall Square most of his literary works were meant for children. Blacksmall Square some of his books like Budhoingla, Kirir Putul, and Raj Kahini are best examples of Bengali children's literature. Question 6. Q. A graduate at 18, Professor and Associate Editor of the Sudharak at 20, Secretary of the Sarvajanik Sabha Provincial Conference at 25, Secretary of the National Congress at 29, leading witness before an important Royal Commission at 31, Provincial Legislator at 34, Imperial Legislator at 36, President of the Indian National Congress at 39, a patriot whom Mahatma Gandhi himself regarded as his master. 1997. This is how a biographer describes. Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, B. Mahadev Govind Ranare, C. Gopal Krishna Gokhale, D. Bal Gangadhar Tilak, answer, C. Explanation. Blacksmall Square Gopal Krishna Gokhale was a social reformer who founded a sectarian organization to work for relief of the underprivileged of India. Blacksmall Square he led the moderate nationalists in the early years of the Indian independence movement. Blacksmall Square he was founder of the Servants of India Society in 1905 which was dedicated to inspire nationalistic feelings among his fellow countrymen. M.C. Setalvad, B. N. Rao, Allari Krishna Swami Iyer were distinguished members of it. Blacksmall Square he worked as an editor on English version of Sudharak A. Newspaper started by Gopal Ganesh Agarkar. Blacksmall Square Gokhale also worked with Ranare in a quarterly journal called Sarvajanik. The journal wrote about the public questions of the day in a frank and fearless manner. He started working with Ranare in the Pune Sarvajanik Sabha of which he later became the secretary. He regarded Mahadev Govind Ranare as his guru. Under the mentorship of Ranare, Gopal Krishna Gokhale became a member of Indian National Congress in 1889. Blacksmall Square he got actively involved with the Indian National Congress and was the joint secretary for some years and in 1905, he was elected the president of the Banaras session of the Congress. Blacksmall Square for a while, Gokhale was a member of the Bombay Legislative Council where he spoke strongly against the then government. Question 7. QMC Setalvad, B. N. Rao and Allari Krishna Swami Iyer were distinguished members of the 1997 Swaraj Party. B. All India National Liberal Federation, C. Madras Labour Union. D. Servants of India Society, answer, D. Question 8. Q. The Congress is tottering to its fall and one of my great ambitions while in India is to assist it to a peaceful demise. This statement is attributed to 1998. Lord Dufferin, B. Lord Curzon, C. Lord Lytton. D. None of the above, answer, B. Question 9. Q. The Governor General who followed a spirited, forward policy towards Afghanistan was 1999. Minto, B. Dufferin, C. Elgin. D. Lytton, answer, D. Question 10. Q. Lord Mountbatten came to India as a viceroy with specific instruction to 1998. Balkanize the Indian subcontinent. B. Keep India united if possible. C. Accept Jinnah's demand for Pakistan. D. Persuade the Congress to accept the partition, answer, B. Do it yourself. Question 11. Q. Consider the following viceroys of India during the British rule, 2004. 1. Lord Curzon. 2. Lord Chelmsford. 3. Lord Harding. 4. Lord Irwin. Which one of the following is the correct chronological order of their tenure? 1. 3. 2. 4. B. 2. 4. 1. 3. C. 1. 4. 2. 3. D. 2. 3. 1. 4. Important personalities part 2. Question 1. Q. He wrote biographies of Mazzini, Garibaldi, Shivaji and Sri Krishna, stayed in America for some time and was elected to the Central Assembly. He was 2018. Arvindo Ghosh, B. Bipin Chandra Pal, C. Lala Lajpat Rai, D. Motilal Nehru, answer, C. Explanation. Blacksmall Square Lala Lajpat Rai was an outspoken writer and politician. Blacksmall Square gifted with a perceptive mind. He was a prolific writer and authored several works like Unhappy India, Young India, and Interpretation, History of Arya Samaj, England's Debt to India, and a series of popular biographies on Mazzini, Garibaldi and Swami Dayanand. Blacksmall Square he helped to establish the nationalistic Dayananda Anglo-Vedic school and became a follower of Dayananda Saraswati, the founder of the conservative Hindu society Arya Samaj. Blacksmall Square after joining the Congress party and taking part in political agitation in the Punjab, Lajpat Rai was deported to Mandalay, Burma, without trial, in May 1907. Blacksmall Square Lajpat Rai's supporters attempted to secure his election to the presidency of the party session of Surat in December 1907, but elements favouring cooperation with the British refused to accept him, and the party split over the issues. Blacksmall Square during World War I, Lajpat Rai lived in the United States, where he founded the Indian Home Rule League of America, 1917, in New York City. He returned to India in early 1920, and later that year he led a special session of the Congress party that launched Mohandas, Mahatma Gandhi's non-cooperation movement. Blacksmall Square imprisoned from 1921 to 1923, he was elected to the Legislative Assembly on his release. Blacksmall Square in 1928 he introduced the Legislative Assembly resolution for the boycott of the British Simon Commission on Constitutional Reform. Shortly thereafter he died, after being attacked by police during a demonstration in Lahore. Question 2. Q. His principal forte was social and religious reform. He relied upon legislation to do away with socialism and work unceasingly for the eradication of child marriage and the Purdah system. To encourage conservation of social problems on a national scale, he inaugurated the Indian National Social Conference, which for many years met for its annual session alongside the Indian National Congress. The reference in this passage is to 1996. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, B. Behramji Mirwanji Malabari, C. Mahadev Govind Ranade, D. B. R. Ambedkar. Answer, C. Explanation. Blacksmall Square he was an Indian scholar, social reformer, justice and author. Blacksmall Square during his life he helped to establish the Vikrit Uttejak Sabha, the Pune Sarvajanik Sabha and the Pratana Samaj, and edited a Bombay Anglo-Marathi daily paper, the Hindu Prakash, founded on his ideology of social and religious reform. Blacksmall Square during his 7 years as a judge in Bombay, Ranade worked for social reform in the areas of child marriage, widow remarriage and women's rights. Blacksmall Square after his appointment as instructor of history at Elphinstone College, Bombay, 1866, he became interested in the history of the Marathas, a militaristic Hindu ethnic group that established the independent kingdom of Maharashtra, 1674-1818. The publication of his Rise of the Maratha Power followed in 1900. Blacksmall Square Ranade has been called the father of Indian economics for urging, unsuccessfully, the British government to initiate industrialization and state welfare programs. Blacksmall Square he was an early member of the Pratana Samaj Prayer Society, which sought to reform the social customs of Orthodox Hinduism. Blacksmall Square he regularly voiced views on social and economic reform at the annual sessions of the Indian National Social Conference, which he founded in 1887. Blacksmall Square Ranade inspired many other Indian social reformers, most notably the educator and legislator Gopal Krishna Gokhale, who carried on Ranade's reform work after his death. Question 3. Q. The word Adivasi was used for the first time to refer to the tribal people by 1995. Mahatma Gandhi, B. Thakur Bappa, C. Jyotiba Phule, D. B.R. Ambedkar. Answer, B. Explanation. Blacksmall Square Amritlal Vithaldas Thakur, popularly known as Thakur Bappa, was an Indian social worker who worked for upliftment of tribal people in Gujarat state in India. The term Adivasi, to mean primitive people of this country, was used by Thakur Bappa to refer to the tribal people. Blacksmall Square he became a member of the Servants of India Society founded by Gopal Krishna Gokhale in 1914. In 1922, he founded the Bhil Seva Mandal. Blacksmall Square later, he became the General Secretary of the Harijan Sevak Sangh founded by Mahatma Gandhi in 1932. Blacksmall Square, the Bharatiya Arinjati Sevak Sangh, was founded on the 24th of October 1948 on his initiative. Blacksmall Square, when Indian constitution was in process, he visited remotest and most difficult parts of India and conducted probe into the situation of tribal and Harijan people. Blacksmall Square he added valuable inputs in the process of constitution. Mahatma Gandhi would call him Bappa. Question 4. Q. Which one of the following was an emigre communist journal of M. N. Roy? 1995. Kisan Sabha, B. The Worker, C. Vanguard, D. Anushilin. Answer, C. Explanation. Blacksmall Square M. N. Roy was prominent Indian philosopher of the 20th century. He was famous as the father of Indian communism and viewed as the first revolutionary leader of India. Blacksmall Square, his interest in social and political issues eventually led to involvement with various Indian groups engaged in trying to overthrow British colonial rule by acts of terrorism. In 1915 he became involved in a plot by Bengal revolutionaries to smuggle arms into India. Blacksmall Square Roy brought out the communist ideology among the people through the communist newspapers, Vanguard. Since June 1922, it was in circulation for several years. Blacksmall Square, it was a source of candid information for the Indian people about the 1917 October Revolution. In this issue Roy said, the government maintained by violence and brute force cannot be overthrown without violence and brute. Blacksmall Square, he was the founder of Mexican Communist Party and Communist Party of India. Question 5. Q. Who among the following leaders did not believe in the train theory of Dadabhai Naoroji? 1996. B.G. Tilak. B. R.C. Dutt. C. M.G. Ranade. D. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Answer, D. Explanation. Blacksmall Square, he was Muslim educator, jurist, and author, founder of the Anglo-Mohammedan Oriental College at Aligarh, Uttar Pradesh, India, and the principal motivating force behind the revival of Indian Islam in the late 19th century. Blacksmall Square, his works, in Urdu, include essays on the life of Muhammad 1870 and commentaries on the Bible and on the Quran. Blacksmall Square, in 1888 he was made a Knight Commander of the Star of India. Blacksmall Square, he also struggled to bring about an improvement in the position of women through better education and by opposing permanent polygamy, advocating easy divorce, and condemning the system of Piri and Muridi. Blacksmall Square, after retirement in 1876, he became a member of the Imperial Legislative Council in 1878. His loyalty earned him a knighthood in 1888. Question 6. Q. Which one of the following Indian leaders was dismissed by the British from the Indian Civil Service? 1999. Satyendranath Tagore, B. Surendranath Banerjee, C. R.C. Dutt. D. Subhash Chandra Bose. Answer, B. Explanation. Blacksmall Square, Sir Surendranath Banerjee, one of the founders of modern India and a proponent of autonomy within the British Commonwealth. Blacksmall Square, after graduation from college, he applied in England for admission to the Indian Civil Service, which at that time had only one Hindu. Banerjee was rejected on the ground that he had misrepresented his age. Blacksmall Square, in 1876 he helped found the Indian Association to bring Hindus and Muslims together for political action. 3 years later he purchased the Bengali, a newspaper. He edited for 40 years from his nationalist viewpoint. Blacksmall Square, an effective speaker at the annual sessions of the Indian National Congress, which first met in 1885, he was twice elected its president. Blacksmall Square, he believed firmly in representative government and constitutional progress by constitutional means. Blacksmall Square, elected in 1913 to both the Bengal and Imperial Legislative Councils, Banerjee welcomed the principles of the Montagu-Chelmsford Report of 1918, which recognized self-government as the goal of British policy in India. Blacksmall Square, he wrote his autobiography, A Nation in Making, 1925. Question 7. Q. The Congress policy of pay and petition ultimately came to an end under the guidance of 1999. Aurobindo Ghosh, B. Bal Gangadhar Tilak, C. Lala Lajpat Rai. D. Mahatma Gandhi. Answer, B. Explanation. Blacksmall Square, Bal Gangadhar Tilak was an Indian nationalist, teacher, lawyer and an independence activist. He was the first leader of the Indian independence movement. The British colonial authorities called him the father of the Indian unrest. He was also conferred with the title of Lokmanya, which means accepted by the people, as their leader. Blacksmall Square he founded 1914 and served as president of the Indian Home Rule League. In 1916 he concluded the Lucknow Pact with Muhammad Ali Jinnah, which provided for Hindu-Muslim unity in the nationalist struggle. Blacksmall Square he developed the institution into a university college after founding the Deccan Education Society, 1884, which aimed at educating the masses, especially in the English language. He and his associates considered English to be a powerful force for the dissemination of liberal and democratic ideals. Blacksmall Square he took the task of awakening the political consciousness of the people through 2 weekly newspapers that he owned and edited, Kesari, The Lion, published in Marathi, and The Maharatta, published in English. Blacksmall Square Tilak sought to widen the popularity of the nationalist movement by introducing Hindu religious symbolism and by invoking popular traditions of the Maratha struggle. Blacksmall Square he was sent to jail 2 times on the charge of sedition. Blacksmall Square, in the Mandalay jail, Tilak settled down to write his magnum opus, the Srimad Bhagavad Gita Rahasya, secret of the Bhagavad Gita, also known as Bhagavad Gita or Gita Rahasya, an original exposition of the most sacred book of the Hindus. Question 8. Q. Consider the following statements about Madame Bhikaji Cama. 1. Madame Cama unfurled the national flag at the International Socialist Conference in Paris in the year 1907. 2. Madame Cama served as private secretary to Dadabhai Naoroji. 3. Madame Cama was born to Parsi parents. Which of the statements given above are correct? 1, 2 and 3, B, 2 and 3 only, C, 1 and 2 only, D, 3 only. Answer, B. Explanation. Blacksmall Square Bhikaji Cama, also known as Madame Cama, Indian political activist and advocate for women's rights. Blacksmall Square, born to an extremely wealthy Parsi business family, Bhikaji Patel. Received her early education in Bombay. Blacksmall Square she worked in collaboration with many famous nationalists like Sardar Singh Rana, Dadabhai Naoroji etc. Blacksmall Square her headquarters were in Paris and that was the meeting place of fame. Revolutionaries like Lala Hardayal. Blacksmall Square she supported violent revolutionary means for achieving freedom. Blacksmall Square she was an eminent personality in the Abhinav Bharat Society. Black's Wall Square in 1907, while attending Socialist Congress at Stuttgart, she unfurled the first Indian flag designed by her. Black's Wall Square with Sardar Singh Rana, she smuggled revolutionary literature and explosives into India. Black's Wall Square, she is regarded as the mother of Indian revolutionaries. Question 9. Q. Who among the following Indian followers was a teacher by profession? 2008. A. N. Sinha. B. Braj Kishore Prasad. C. J. B. Kripalani. D. Rajendra Prasad. Answer C. Explanation. Black's Wall Square Jivatram Bhagwandas Kripalani, popularly known as Acharya Kripalani, was an Indian politician, noted particularly for holding the presidency of the Indian National Congress during the transfer of power in 1947 and the husband of Sucheta Kripalani. Black's Wall Square Kripalani was a Gandhian socialist, environmentalist, mystic and independence activist. Black's Wall Square he was professor of English and history at the Muzaffarpur College in Bihar for 5 years from 1912. Black's Wall Square he also taught for a year at the Banaras Hindu University 1919-20. Black's Wall Square from 1920-27 he became a member of the Gujarat Vidyapith founded by Mahatma Gandhi. Black's Wall Square it was as the principal of the Vidyapith that he was hailed as Acharya. Black's Wall Square Kripalani became president of the Congress at its merit session in 1946. Black's Wall Square he parted company with the Congress and founded a political party known as Krishik Vizdur Praja Party, KMPP, which subsequently merged itself into the Praja Socialist Party, PSP. Black's Wall Square he resigned from the PSP in 1954. Black's Wall Square Kripalani is the author of a number of books including authoritative biography of Gandhiji. Acharya Kripalani died in 1982. Question 10. Q. Which one of the following was a journal brought out by Abul Kalam Azad? 2008. A. Al-Hilal. B. Comrade. C. The Indian sociologist D. Zamindar. Answer A. Explanation. Black's Wall Square Abul Kalam Azad, also called Maulana Azad, Islamic theologian who was one of the leaders of the Indian independence movement against British rule. Black's Wall Square Azad became active in journalism when he was in his late teens, and in 1912 he began publishing a weekly Urdu language newspaper in Calcutta, Al-Hilal the Crescent. Black's Wall Square the paper quickly became highly influential in the Muslim community for its anti-British stance, notably for its criticism of Indian Muslims who were loyal to the British. Black's Wall Square back in Calcutta, he joined the Indian National Congress, Congress Party, and galvanized India's Muslim community through an appeal to pan-Islamic ideals. Black's Wall Square Azad and Gandhi became close, and Azad was involved in Gandhi's various civil disobedience campaigns, including the Salt March 1930. Black's Wall Square he was imprisoned several times between 1920 and 1945, including for his participation in the anti-British Quit India campaign during World War II. Black's Wall Square Azad was president of the Congress Party in 1923 and again in 1940-46. Black's Wall Square he was particularly active in the short-lived Khilaf movement 1920-24. Black's Wall Square after independence, he became the first education minister of India. Black's Wall Square his autobiography, India Wins Freedom, was published posthumously in 1959. Black's Wall Square in 1992, decades after his death, Azad was awarded the Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian award. Question 11. Q. Who among the following wrote the poem, Subah-e-Azadi? 2008. A. Sahil Ludhianvi. B. Faiz Ahmad Faiz. C. Muhammad Iqbal. D. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. Answer B. Explanation. Black's Wall Square Faiz Ahmad Faiz was a Pakistani leftist poet and author and one of the most celebrated writers of the Urdu language. Black's Wall Square he was nominated for Nobel Prize in Literature and won the Lenin Peace Prize. Black's Wall Square in 1935 Faiz joined the faculty of Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College at Amritsar, serving as a lecturer in English and British literature. Black's Wall Square in 1938 he became editor-in-chief of the monthly Urdu magazine Adab-e Latif until 1946. Black's Wall Square in 1941 Faiz published his first literary book, Naqsh-e-Faryadi, and joined the Pakistan Arts Council, PAC, in 1947. Black's Wall Square after Pakistan's independence, Faiz became the editor to the Pakistan Times. Black's Wall Square Faiz's literary work was posthumously publicly honored when the Pakistan government conferred upon him the nation's highest civil award, Nishan-e-Imtiaz, in 1990. Important personalities Part 3. Question 1. Q. Consider the following statements about Jawaharlal Nehru, 1996. 1. He was the president of the Congress Party in 1947. 2. He presided over the Constituent Assembly. 3. He formed the first Congress ministry in United Province before India's independence. Of these statements, 1, 2 and 3 are correct. B, 1 and 3 are correct. C, 1 and 2 are correct. D, none is correct. Answer D. Question 2. Q. Match list I with list 2 and select the correct answer using the code given below the lists. 2008, list 1, author, list 2, word. A. Bankim Chandra 1, Shatranj Ke Khiladi. B. Dinabandhu Mitra 2, Devi Chaudhary. C. Premchand 3, Neel Darpan 4, Chandrakanta. Code. A. A2, B4, C1, B. A3, B4, C2, C. A2, B3, C1, D. A3, B1, C4. Answer C. Explanation. Black's Wall Square Bankim Chandra Chatterjee was an Indian author, whose novels firmly established prose as a literary vehicle for the Bengali language and helped create in India a school of fiction on the European model. Black's Wall Square some of his youthful compositions appeared in the newspaper, Sambad Prabhakar, and in 1858 he published a volume of poems entitled Lalita o Manas. Fig. Some of the books written by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. Black's Wall Square Dinabandhu is, however, primarily known for his play about the plight of indigo farmers Neel Darpan. The Indigo Revolt 1858 or Nilgriha in Bengali was the revolt of the indigo farmers against the indigo planters. It was just 1 year after the Sepoy Revolt Bengal saw one more important revolt in its history. Black's Wall Square Dhanpat Rai Srivastav, better known by his pen name Munshi Premchand. Black's Wall Square he was famous for his modern Hindi Urdu literature. Black's Wall Square he is one of the most celebrated writers of the Indian subcontinent. Black's Wall Square he began writing under the pen name Nawab Rai, but subsequently switched to Premchand. A novel writer, story writer and dramatist, he has been referred to as the Upanyas Samrat, emperor among novelists by writers. Premchand's first published story was Dunya Ka Sabse and Mulratan. Black's Wall Square he has written about 250 books and novels. Some of his famous works are Seva Sadan, Bodan, Gabon, Nirmala, Karambhumi, Rambhumi, Mangalsutra etc. Black's Wall Square some of his famous short stories are Shatranj Ke Khiladi, Lottery, Iddah, Kafani etc. Question 3. Q. Mahatma Gandhi said that some of his deepest convictions were reflected in a book titled Untruth is Last, and the book transformed his life. What was the message from the book that transformed Mahatma Gandhi? 2011. Uplifting the oppressed and poor is the moral responsibility of an educated man. B. The good of individual is contained in the good of all. C. The life of celibacy and spiritual pursuit are essential for a noble life. D. All the statements A, B, and C are correct in this context. Answer B. Explanation. Blackswall Square. Mahatma Gandhi, by name of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, Indian lawyer, politician, social activist, and writer who became the leader of the nationalist movement against the British rule of India. Blackswall Square. He came to be considered the father of his country. Blackswall Square. Gandhi is internationally esteemed for his doctrine of nonviolent protest, satyagraha, to achieve political and social progress. Blackswall Square. Literary works of Mahatma Gandhi. His autobiographic story of my experiments with truth, which was published in his journal. Navjivan, Satyagraha in South Africa. Ethical religion. Sarvodaya. Hind Swaraj or Indian Home Rule. From Yeravana Mandir. Discourses on the Gita. Voice of Truth. Question 4. Q. During the Indian freedom struggle, who of the following raised an army called Free Indian Legion? 2008. Lala Hardayal. B. Rasbihari Bose. C. Subhash Chandra Bose. D. V. D. Savarkar. Answer C. Question 5. Q. Which Indian nationalist leader looked upon a war between Germany and Britain as a God-sent opportunity which would enable Indians to exploit the situation to their advantage? 1999. A. C. Rajagopalachari. B. M. A. Jinnah. C. Subhash Chandra Bose. D. Jawaharlal Nehru. Answer C. Question 6. Q. During the freedom struggle, Aruna Asaf Ali was a major woman organizer of underground activity. 2009. A. Civil disobedience movement. B. Non-cooperation movement. C. Quit India movement. D. Swadeshi movement. Answer C. Question 7. Q. With reference to Indian freedom struggle, Usha Mehta is well known for 2011. A. Running the secret Congress radio in the wake of Quit India movement. B. Participating in the second round table conference. C. Leading a contingent of Indian National Army. D. Assisting in the formation of interim government under Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Answer A. Question 8. Q. Which of the following parties were established by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar? 2012. 1. The Peasants and Workers Party of India. 2. All India Scheduled Castes Federation. 3. The Independent Labour Party. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. 1 and 2 only. B. 2 and 3 only. C. 1 and 3 only. D. 1, 2 and 3. Answer B. Explanation. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar, leader of the Dalits, scheduled castes, formerly called untouchables, and Law Minister of the Government of India. Blackswall Square. In 1936, Ambedkar founded the Independent Labour Party, which contested the 1937 Bombay election to the Central Legislative Assembly for the 13 reserved and 4 general seats, and secured 11 and 3 seats respectively. Blackswall Square. Ambedkar published his book Annihilation of Caste on the 15th of May 1936. Blackswall Square. It strongly criticized Hindu orthodox religious leaders and the caste system in general. Blackswall Square. Upon India's independence on the 15th of August 1947, the new Congress-led government invited Ambedkar to serve as the nation's first Law and Justice Minister, which he accepted. On the 29th of August, he was appointed chairman of the Constitution Drafting Committee, and was appointed by the Constituent Assembly to write India's new constitution. Blackswall Square Scheduled Castes Federation (SCF) was a political party in India. SCF was founded by Dr. Ambedkar in 1942 to fight for the rights of the Dalit community. Blackswall Square SCF was the successor organization of the Independent Labour Party led by Ambedkar. Blackswall Square SCF later evolved into the Republican Party of India. Question 9. Q. Match list I with list 2 and select the correct answer using the codes given below the lists. 1999 LIST 1 list 2. A. Shyamji Krishna Verma 1. Band Matram. B. Madam Bhikaji Kama 2. Indian sociologist. C. Annie Besant 3. The Talwar. D. Arbindo Ghosh 4. Commonwealth. Codes. A. A2, B3, C4, D1, B. A3, B2, C1, D4, C. A2, B3, C1, D4, D. A3, B2, C4, D1. Answer A. Question 10. Q. Match list I with list 2 and select the correct answer. 1996 LIST 1 list 2. A. Surendranath Banerjee 1. Hind Swaraj. B. M. K. Gandhi 2. The Indian Struggle. C. Subhash Chandra Bose 3. Autobiographical. D. Lajpat Rai 4. A Nation in Making. Codes. A. A4, B1, C3, D2, B. A1, B4, C3, D2, C. A4, B1, C2, D3, D. A1, B4, C2, D3. Answer C. Question 11. Q. Match list I with list 2 and select the correct answer using the codes given below the lists. 1999 list 1 books, list 2 authors. A. The First Indian War of Independence 1. Rabindranath Tagore. B. Anand Math 2. Sri Aurobindo. C. Life Divine 3. Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. D. Sadhana 4. Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. Codes. A. A4, B3, C2, D1, B. A3, B4, C1, D2, C. A4, B3, C1, D2, D. A3, B4, C2, D1. Answer A. India since independence. Question 1. Q. The Radcliffe Committee was appointed to 2014. Solve the problem of minorities in India. B. Give effect to the Independence Bill. C. Delimit the boundaries between India and Pakistan. D. Inquire into the riots in East Bengal. Answer C. Explanation. Blackswall Square Radcliffe Committee was formed to delimit the boundaries between India and Pakistan. Blackswall Square the committee was formed to recommend how the Punjab and Bengal regions of the Indian subcontinent were to be divided between India and Pakistan shortly before each was to become independent from Britain. Blackswall Square the commission, appointed by Lord Mountbatten, the final viceroy of British India, consisted of 4 members from the Indian National Congress and 4 from the Muslim League and was chaired by Sir Cyril Radcliffe. Blackswall Square the demarcation line was published on the 17th of August 1947 upon the partition of India. Today its western side still serves as the Indo-Pakistani border and the eastern side serves as the India-Bangladesh border. Question 2. Q. Who among the following suggested the winding up of the Indian National Congress after India attained independence? 1996. A. C. Rajagopalachari. B. Acharya Kripalani. C. Mahatma Gandhi. D. Jayaprakash Narain. Answer C. Question 3. Q. The radical wing of the Congress Party with Jawaharlal Nehru as one of its main leaders, founded the Independence for India League in opposition to 1995. The Finance Commission. B. The National Development Council. C. Nehru Report. D. The Constitution of India. Answer C. Question 4. Q. Economically, one of the results of the British rule in India in the 19th century was the 2018 increase in the export of Indian handicrafts. B. Growth in the number of Indian-owned factories. C. Commercialization of Indian agriculture. D. Rapid increase in the urban population. Answer C. Question 5. Q. Who among the following were the founders of the Hind Mazdoor Sabha, established in 1948? 2018. B. Krishna Pillai, A.M.S. Namurgipadan K.C. George. B. Jayaprakash Narayan, Deen Dayal Upadhyay, N.M. Roy. C. C.P. Ramaswamy Iyer, K. Kamarajan Veerslingam Pinturu. D. Ashok Mehta, T.S. Ramanujan and G.G. Mehta. Answer D. Explanation. Blacksmall Square, the HMS, was formed by the Socialists in 1948 but has little real connection with the Socialist Party. Blacksmall Square, it is one of the least political and most pragmatic trade union federations in India. The HMS is affiliated with the International Confederation of Free Trade Unions. Blacksmall Square, the HMS, was founded in Hara in West Bengal on the 29th of December 1948 by Socialists, Forward Bloc followers and independent unionists. Blacksmall Square, its founders included Basavan Singh, Sinha, Ashok Mehta, R.S. Ruikar, Manibai Kara, Shivnath Banerjee, R.A. Kedkar, T.S. Ramanujam, V.S. Mathur, G.G. Mehta. Blacksmall Square, R.S. Ruikar was elected president and Ashok Mehta general secretary. Question 6. Q. Which one of the following is not a principle of Panchsheel? 1997. A. Non-alignment. B. Peaceful coexistence. C. Mutual respect for each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty. D. Mutual non-interference in each other's internal affairs. Answer A. Explanation. Blacksmall Square, the 5 principles of peaceful coexistence, known as the Panchsheel Treaty, non-interference in others' internal affairs and respect for each other's territorial unity, integrity and sovereignty, are a set of principles to govern relations between states. Blacksmall Square, their first formal codification in treaty form, was an agreement between China and India in 1954. They were enunciated in the preamble to the agreement with exchange of notes on trade and intercourse between Tibet region of China and India, which was signed at Peking on the 28th of April 1954. Blacksmall Square, this agreement stated the 5 principles as mutual respect for each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty, mutual non-aggression, mutual non-interference in each other's internal affairs, equality and cooperation for mutual benefit, peaceful coexistence. Blacksmall Square, the Panchsheel Agreement, serves as one of the most important relation built between India and China to further the economic and security cooperation. Blacksmall Square, an underlying assumption of the 5 principles, was that newly independent states after decolonization would be able to develop a new and more principled approach to international relations. Prelim Special. Previous year questions. Modern Indian history miscellaneous. Q. Which one of the following is an important historical novel written during the latter half of the 19th century? 1996. A. Ras Koftar. B. Durgesh Nandini. C. Maratha. D. Niband Mala. Answer B. Ras Koftar, The Truth Teller, was an Anglo-Gujarati paper operating in Bombay that was started in 1851 by Dadabhai Naoroji and Khurshedji Kama and championed social reform among Parsis in western India. Maratha Tilak started 2 weeklies, Kesari, The Lion, in Marathi and Maharita in English, sometimes referred as Maratha in academic study books. Nibandmala in 1874, Vishwashastri Krishna Shastri Chiplunker started the monthly Nibandmala, a garland of essays, for which he is principally remembered. 1. Durgesh Nandini is a Bengali historical romance novel written by Indian writer Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay in 1865. It is the first Bengali novel written by Bankim Chandra as well as the first major Bengali novel in the history of Bengali literature. Other famous novels of 19th century are Indulekha, first modern novel in Malayalam, published in 1889. Rajashekara Karatamu, Telugu novel written by Kandukari Veerasilingam in 1878. Pariksha Guru, written by Srinivas Das, published in 1882. Chandrakanta, written by Devkinandan Khatri, it was the first modern Hindi novel. Seva Sadan Premchand deals with poor condition of women in society. 2. Q. Which one of the following statement is not correct? 1999. Neeldarpan was a play based on the exploitation of the indigo farmers. D. The author of the play, Ghashiram Kotwal, is Vijay Tendulkar. C. The play, Navan, by Naveen Chandra Das, was based on the famine of Bengal. D. Urdu theatre used to depend heavily on Parsi theatre. Answer C. Ghashiram Kotwal is a Marathi play written by playwright Vijay Tendulkar in 1972 as a response to the rise of a local political party in Maharashtra. The play is a political satire, written as historical drama. It is based on the life of Nana Fadnavis, 1741-1800, one of the prominent ministers in the court of the Peshwa of Pune, and Ghashiram Kotwal, the police chief of the city. Its theme is how men in power give rise to ideologies to serve their purposes, and later destroy them when they become useless. 1. Nabana is a Bengali language drama written by Bijon Bhattacharya. The play is about the Bengal famine of 1943. The Bengal IPTA took the play to many parts of India as a part of its festival, Voice of Bengal, and it became a major success and collected lakhs of rupees for famine relief in rural Bengal. 2. Q. The first feature film, Talkie, to be produced in India was 1999. A. Hatimtai. B. Alamara. C. Kundali. D. Raja Harishchandra. Answer B. Brought the concept of motion pictures to Indie Lumiere brothers. First Indo-British collaboration for making a silent movie, Pundalik. First indigenous Indian silent film, Raja Harishchandra, produced by Dada Saheb Phalke. First Indian woman who produced and directed her own film, Fatima Begum. First talking film, Alamara. First recorded song, De Dekhuda Ke Naam Par. First Indian color film, Sirenry. First indigenously made color film, Kisam Kanya. First South Indian film, Prem Sagar. First Technicolor film, Jhansi Ki Rani. First Indian film to win an award at Cannes Film Festival, Do Bigha Zameen. First film to win an Oscar for Best Foreign Language Film, Mother India. 1. Q. Which of the following pairs are not correctly matched? 2001. India's first Technicolor film, Jhansi Ki Rani. B. India's first 3D film, Media Kruti Chitan. C. India's first insured film, Dal. D. India's first actress to win the Bharat Ratna, Meena Kumari. Answer D. 5 Indian women have won Bharat Ratna. 1. Mother Teresa. 2. Indira Gandhi. 3. Aruna Asaf Ali. 4. MS Subbulakshmi. 5. Lata Mangeshkar. Thank you. Our email at hello@civilstub.com.